This week in ELA, we are going to be reading a book called Mesmerized, and we're really going to be focusing in on finding the main idea of a text as we read through. So, a main idea is the most important idea that the writer's trying to get the reader to understand. Think of it like the heart of a paragraph. It's controlling all of the different ideas. Everything else in the passage or paragraph should be relating back to that main idea, that heart at the center. All the other supporting details are going to help us to find that main idea. Sometimes it's really easy to spot. Sometimes the author gives it to us right away. Other times we have to dig for it and maybe figure it out from clues in the paragraph. We say that there are two kinds of main ideas, stated and implied. You might also hear this called unstated, but that's what implied means, that it's not directly stated for us. We imply or infer that. So when the paragraph has a stated main idea, it often shows up in a topic sentence of a paragraph. It means the paragraph says what the main idea is. Right there, the author wrote it out for us. However, sometimes a paragraph doesn't have a stated main idea, but it is implied. So we have to come up with the main idea in our own words. We actually have to write a sentence that sums up what's most important in this passage based on the details that the author is giving us. So let's look at an example from this mesmerized passage. The doctors were furious. Their patients didn't care about regular medicine anymore. All they wanted was a wave of Dr. Mesmer's wand. The doctors griped and groused and fussed and fumed. Dr. Mesmer's force was not like electricity, a gas, or the hot air in a balloon, they told the king. The reason nobody could see it or touch it was it wasn't there. So what is the main idea of this passage? Let's look at our choices. When the doctors began to lose their patients, they complained to the king that Mesmer was a fraud. Doctors at this time were very cranky when it came to losing patients. Doctors were so important in France at this time that they could communicate directly with the king. Or Mesmer's force, unlike electricity or invisible gas, was unique. Unlike electricity or invisible gases. So if one of these four choices is a main idea, that means all the sentences in that first passage that we read should be related. This is what we call an implied main idea. The author didn't give us a topic sentence that stated, here's the main idea, and let me tell you the reasons why and the details that support it. We actually have to think about, what did we read? Well, we see that there was a lot of mention of doctors who were upset. Their patients, ooh, that was a bad highlight. Their patients didn't want to come to the doctors anymore for regular medicine. They went to Dr. Mesmer, who said he had this magic that he could use, a wave of his wand. We see all these adjectives describing what the doctors were doing. They went to the king and said, this force that he says he's using, it's not like anything else that we've seen before. The doctor said, this isn't real. It's not actually there. So this passage is talking a lot about how the doctors are upset and their patients don't want to come see them anymore. So our main idea would be this first choice here. When doctors began to lose their patients, they complained to the king that Mesmer was a fraud. They're saying, this isn't real. They went to the king, they explained, and they were very frustrated over it. These other pieces, though they might be true, these other options I should say, though they might have elements of truth to them, it's not what this passage that we just read is all about. That's what makes this our implied main idea.